Some breaking news. CJ McCollum has been traded to the Washington Wizards, along with Kelly Olynyk and a future second rounder for Jordan Poole, Saddiq Bey. I keep messing that name up. Saddiq Bey. I don't know why. And pick number 40. So me and Chaz here live. We're going to go for about 10, 15 minutes, talk about the trade. Real quick, before we get into anything, shout out to CJ McCollum. I know there are not a lot of fans of his. I know our whole podcast loved him, but the things he did on the court, but more importantly, the things he did off of the court, really invested in the community, was just always a spokesperson for the franchise, a great face for the franchise and for the city. I have nothing but love for CJ McCollum. Guy showed up every single day, constant professional. I was lucky enough to be in the building when he was there, and he just is the nicest human being you can meet. He's also a professional. And he showed up every single night. So, Chaz, I don't know, before we talk about the trade, I want you to kind of talk about CJ McCollum and what he meant for this organization, because whether you liked him or not, he was one of the best guards to ever come through this city.
Yeah, I think much like DeMarcus Cousins, when you got CJ McCollum, it kind of gave the team an air of legitimacy. You got a quote-unquote a name brand player who's accomplished, had big playoff moments. Again, a guy who actually plays,
that's where the bar is. Do you play or not?
Yeah, 20 points a game, type guy. Also changed his entire game, became a catch and shoot guy. Did everything he needed to do to fit in. You needed him to play point guard, he played point guard. You needed him to be a catch and shoot guy, he became a catch and shoot guy. Tried to be as much of a voice of reason and leader as you can be within this organization, but ultimately, you lost quite a bit of professionalism today, and community advocacy today. But all that to say, best wishes to CJ. If he stays in Washington, which I don't believe he will, but if he stays in Washington, I will definitely continue to be a fan of his and support his career.
Yeah, well said, Chaz. Ross joined the show. Ross, before we get into the trade, we're just talking about CJ McCollum, and just give me your overall thoughts over his last 3.5 years here in New Orleans.
I thought he was great. I mean, I thought it was exactly what we expected him to be. Professional. I thought he played well too. I mean, sometimes I think folks were a little critical. But he was never meant to be a number one option, and I think sometimes this organization needed him to be. And he carried that cross, I think, about as admirably as and reasonably as anybody could have. I'll miss the guy. I liked watching him play, and I thought for the most part he was pretty good when he was here. He was just asked to do more than he should have been.
Yeah. So if you're just joining the show, once again, it's going to be about a 10, 15-minute show. Make sure you smash the like button. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We might go live again tonight to talk more about this trade and get the other guys' thoughts. But let's now talk about the trade, Chaz. And shout, first off, before we get to the trade, shout out to Chaz. If you go to his Twitter at Cheddar Chaz on X, make sure he just retweeted it, but he literally called this about a week ago saying you need to go after a distressed asset, and he had mentioned Jordan Poole. Chaz, let's talk a little bit about Jordan Poole, then we'll talk about Saddiq Bey, who's coming off, I believe, an Achilles. Is that what you said?
No,
so he didn't play, or an ACL? An ACL. So he's come off an ACL, so he didn't play last year, but Jordan Poole, 2 years left on his contract, about $64 million left, I believe. Average career highs in points per game last year, 20.5. 3-point percentage, 37.8 on 9 attempts. What are you getting? Let's go Chaz first and then Ross second. What are you getting with a player like Jordan Poole?
You're getting a guy, was a boom or bust type pick, something similar to what you would get with a Jalen Green. A guy who's, of course, he had a situation with the Warriors, and we never really saw him be as effective as he was since then. After he had that situation with Draymond Green, probably had some mental health issues. Given that issue, was traded to a bad team in the Wizards with no expectations. Didn't really find his footing. So it's a boom or bust play. Worst case scenario, he only got like 2 years left on the deal, so it's relatively easy to get out of. Can score in bunches. I think he shot like shot really efficiently on 9 3 attempts last year. Not
38% on 9 attempts.
Yeah, it could be. He's one of them dudes that could probably have 40 points at the drop of a dime. He could also end up having 8 points at the drop of a dime. Like I say, boom or bust prospect, but you get younger. Saddiq Bey, another guy who I like, Troy Weaver pick. Always been a fan of Saddiq Bey. I would have much rather Saddiq Bey over Kyra Lewis the night that draft had happened. Was having a real promising career, was in line for a really good contract also in Atlanta, but he got hurt versus the Pelicans. Shot his free throws on the torn ACL before he was taken off the court in Atlanta versus the Pelicans. I like the deal. I got to look at the cap numbers to see exactly if the Pelicans gave themselves some more breathing room from the tax. But I think now you pretty much solved your combo guard, starting 2-guard problem that you may have had. And I think now you can kind of move on to solidifying maybe the point guard position more and maybe the center position.
And look at forward, Chaz, Saddiq Bey, when he was healthy, he was averaging 13.8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 6'7" wing, 215 pounds. So if you get him back healthy, I actually like the depth that he can bring to the team. So Ross, what's your thoughts here on the overall trade with Jordan Poole coming in, Saddiq Bey coming in, and also pick number 40?
Well, look, a couple things, right? So you now have 7, 23, and 40. Which gives you like some legitimate opportunities, I think, to pretty much do anything you'd want as far as either players or trades go within this draft in the next few days. I mostly agree with what Chaz said about Poole. I think you're getting really a similar-ish production to CJ. It might come in a slightly different way, but I think what you're going to see is a guy who's going to, take a volume of his shots from 3, some ill-advised, some advised, really kind of a microwave scorer. But I think it's really going to be kind of similar. What it does is it saves you a couple bucks this year, a couple million, gives you some flexibility. I'm with Chaz. I actually have liked Saddiq Bey. He's not just like a throw-in to this deal. I think he'll be able to immediately come in, help you on the come in, help you on the wing. And then look, I may be in maybe the minority here, but I was curious to see what how Olynyk could. I was a little more optimistic. I think that he was going to be able to give you more value than maybe others thought he would. I wanted to see him with a full lineup, fully healthy. I think he gave you some interesting lineup variations. And he's an expiring. And so with CJ, I think that's the one area to me that you wouldn't have done this deal by itself. There are other things that are unquestionably going to happen. They have to. So that to me, I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed. But I think if nothing else, I'm a little disappointed that they got rid of Olynyk. But if nothing else, I think they are absolutely going to do something in the front court. Absolutely.
We feel the same because I
got an echo, Ross. Go ahead, Chess.
Oh, my bad. I actually feel the same way as Ross. I also would have liked to see Olynyk at least to start the season, to see what's there. But one thing I told myself in the offseason, just looking back at Olynyk's career, because Olynyk only plays for losers. With the
exception of the Celtics.
Yeah, with the exception of that time, he tore Kevin Love's shoulder. He only plays for losers, really. So that's one thing. But I'm interested to see what this means for Herb. That's a lot of wings. You got a lot of wings in the building, man. A lot of wings. I'm just interested to see what that means. Also, now you have a bit of a hole in the front court because Kelly Olynyk might have been your starting power forward, starting center.
Well, that makes me think that they're not done. So I guess one of my last questions here is, Ross, do you have something?
I'd say this move screams Derek Queen to me.
So do you think – so now the Pelicans have 7, 23, and 40. in this year's draft. Are they done making moves, Chad? Start with you first.
Nah, they're not done. Because you still got ammo. Still got ammo. So now you're not done. You got 3 picks. Well, you got 2 first-round picks, and you got 40.
There he is. What's up, Five?
So
what's up, bro?
That and also you still got DeJounte's contract. Still got Herb. Like, for example, if you want to say, all right, I'm not giving you a real first to move DeJounte, but now I got pick 40. And I got pick 23. So if I wanted to throw that in as a sweetener, I can do that. If I like Jared Allen's still available, if I wanted to put something around Herb for Jared Allen, you gave yourself a lot of options because they still have a major hole in the front court. And one would say that they still kind of have some depth issues in the backcourt. So I don't think they're done.
Yeah. Jared, overall thoughts on the trade with Jordan Poole coming to New Orleans?
Apologize if I'm driving. Hopefully the stream ain't messing up. But first initial thought, shout out to CJ McCollum. You know what I mean? I just want to say, it was a true honor to watch him work. Like a professional the entire time. Gracious with his time, gracious with his words. I don't think he'll get enough credit, but he's the one that actually should get credit for what he did in the city and for the people. But man, we get a guy in Jordan Poole that can create, somebody that can create his own shot, that can do a lot more. So I think he needs an offense and a head coach that can put him in a better predicament. I mean, we still don't have that. We still have that issue, but I think we get younger and a guy that can, fill up the box score, but a little inefficient at times, but still someone that, you can probably sell some tickets with.
Yeah, for sure. Ross, do you think that, by the way, 500 people in here, so appreciate y'all. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We might go live tonight, we might not, but either way, it's a good time to announce this. We will be live the entire NBA draft tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll start at 6:50 and then cover the whole thing. So we're going to have pick 7, 23, pick 40. Ross, leads me to my next question. You said this screams Derek Queen. We've talked about and look, that's what I love about our show is that we all have different opinions on what we should do at 7, what we should do at 23, what we should do at 40. Why does this scream Derek Queen for you? And if you do think that Derek Queen is the player, do they need to trade up, package those picks to move up maybe into the top 12? Or you think that he's
you could take him
what
at 7.
Do you think Derek Queen's there? You think they're going to take him at 7?
I don't know if they're going to take him at 7.
That's too high for me.
I think they have an opportunity to move up from 23 to get him. I just think he's there's similarities, right? I think from an offensive skill set in terms of what he can do. He's just a versatile offensive player, and you now are in a spot where you need versatile offensive players that can sort of fill that power forward center gap, right? There's no way they're going to leave this draft either via trade or pick without getting someone that is like a hybrid 4 or 5. There's just no way. Can't.
Go ahead, Jared.
I think it's funny because, we all had an idea of what the Pelicans were going to do. This trade changes everything. Truly changes your, we're not even looking at guards. If you're looking at a guard now,
make sure you merge. Okay, make sure you're safe first, Chad. Before saying that.
I'm fine. But if you're looking at a guard, you're not. That's over. I think Ross is correct. It does scream Derek Queen. It does say, okay, now you can go figure something else out, solve another problem because you've kind of figured out the guard one at this juncture.
Yeah, I look. I'll say this: it's at least exciting. There's at least excitement surrounding the team now. Now you have 3 picks in this draft. You started off with 1. Now you got 3. You got 2 in the first round, 1 in the second round. Jordan Poole, obviously, as Chad says, a boomer bust guy. And now I'm still I think people are sleeping on the Saddiq Bey acquisition. 2 years left at $13 million. He's a very productive player. Since he's been in the league, he's averaged double digits, will rebound, hustle guy. If he can get back healthy off the torn ACL, like he will be a productive player. So it's all about depth. That's one thing that this podcast has talked about is the depth coming off the bench. Well, you know, who knows what the starting lineup looks like day one, because I still think there's more moves to happen. So any other thoughts, Ross or Jared? I don't know if you want to talk about anything else. I wanted to go ahead, Fab.
I was going to follow up your Saddiq Bey comment. Like, dude scored 50 points once in the NBA game. Like,
dude, he's a productive player. Like if you're by a computer right now, go look up Saddiq Bey's stats. He was, let's see, I'll rattle them off for you right now. He hadn't played in a year, but Saddiq Bey, since being in the league, has averaged double digits every single year. Once again, 6'7" forward, 215 pounds, rebounds the basketball at a good clip at five rebounds a night, 14 points per game. Not a great shooter. I mean, in his last couple of years, he's averaged 35% on. Actually, now I think about it, damn. He had a bad shooting year in Atlanta in 2023, his last year he played, but he's an overall 35% three-point shooter on 5 attempts. Like,
and before last year, it was much higher than that.
Yeah, because he shot. If you look at it, he shot 40%. He shot 40% on 5 attempts at Atlanta in 2022, 2023. That was in 25 games before he got traded from Detroit, but he still shot overall 38% on that year.
Yeah,
I mean that's a good clip. Like if that's your throw in, like you take it. So look, yeah, once again, we'll be live again tomorrow night. Don't know if we're going live tonight, but hit that bell notification, smash the like button, helps out the channel. And no matter what, we'll see y'all tomorrow at 6:45. But either way, follow us on X, Instagram. If we do go live tonight, it'll be around 8:30. And then as obviously if more trades happen, which I think it will be, because there's now reports coming out saying that Trey Murphy and Herb Jones are going to be targeted by rival executives. So that should be interesting. Real quick, now that you think about this, I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Just yes or no, do you think Herb Jones gets traded before on draft night?
I say no.
Ross?
I think yes.
Hey, look, I'll say this: Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, and I said this a couple weeks ago. They have no connections. They have no. These aren't their guys. They're going to get their guys in the building. It's been very clear with Joe Dumars. He's getting his guys. His guys are going to make the decision. So it's going to be. What you got, 5? You got something there?
No, it just hit me. Saddiq scored 50 in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Saddiq's a good player.
Who's the GM now? Like
Troy Weaver. Yeah, he's a Troy Weaver guy. And Troy Weaver selected him. So, yeah, they're going to get their guy. So, yeah, we'll see. But appreciate everyone pulling up. Make sure you smash the like button. And no matter what, we'll see y'all tomorrow night. Later.